Good morning and assalamu alaikum. You are tuned into Inspire FM 105.1 FM. It's Friday, 10th of May, and the time has now just gone 10 o'clock. Welcome to Mother's Planet, a show where there is always something to talk about in a productive and beneficial way. I'm your host, Neelum, and this morning I'll be sharing some useful topics around exams. Now, I know across the nation, exams have started, and the pressure of A levels and GCSEs is now kicking in. So, I will be sharing some hopefully useful tips from a perspective of a student and as a mother. So do hear those out. But first, listeners, let me talk about the weather. The weather, mashallah, mashallah, how beautiful has the last few days been? The sun has finally made its appearance, and I'm not going to lie, I am very much enjoying the sunshine. I do, however, find that sometimes with the heat, it can get a little bit overwhelming, and it does tire me out, but it gives me that boost. So that post Ramadan stress or a struggle that I was having of trying to get up and just crack on with my day, the sunshine has helped. So having the sun out, Alhamdulillah, I've been able to really get myself out of bed and make use of the day, because when it's hot, you want to try and get as much as you possibly can done in the early part of the day so that you can enjoy the sunshine and then not be too overworked in the heat as well. So I'm going to hopefully not go on too much about the weather, because I don't even want to look at what the forecast is for next week. I think we have to try and savor this warmth while we can. But yes, naturally, when the sun comes out, everything like the garden looks like it needs a lot of attention. So in my case, we've had some work done in my garden. So my garden has been really neglected. So I'm hopefully going to try and get a bit green fingered over the weekend. I've got my kit ready. So I've got my gardening gloves, the trowel and the rake and everything ready. So I just need to try and revive my grass. It's one of those really hard things, because a friend of mine told me that while I bought these grass seeds to try and revive my grass, it's not something that's going to happen instantly. You have to kind of wait patiently, and I am not very patient when it comes to watching grass grow. And also, I hate having to put the seeds down and then keep knocking on the window or banging on my window to try and scare the birds away, because they keep picking up the seeds, the grass seeds. So yeah, I'm not very good at growing grass. So listeners, if you have any tips on how to grow grass, and if you think laying new turf down is more better, do share your tips and ideas with me on that. I'm always ready to listen out for any gardening tips. So yes, I've also bought some flowers that need to be bedded in their pots, and I'm going to be trying to do that later on today. So listeners, how has the week been for you? And what does the sunshine inspire you to do? It does also inspire me to wash. So I've been washing lots of clothes and getting them air dried. I love putting laundry out on the washing line. I have got a tumble dryer, but I much prefer line washed and dried clothes than I do in the tumble dryer. It's just got a different feel to it, and I also feel I'm doing my part for the environment. So yeah, hopefully that's my part of line washing clothes. I'm also contributing towards the environment there as well. So listeners, the show is live and direct on air, reaching out to all our listeners through the airwaves at Inspire FM 105.1 FM. You can also connect through TuneIn via the Inspire FM new and improved webpage, and also listen to the show as an audio on the Inspire FM Facebook page, where you must give the show a thumbs up, and also you are able to leave any comments around today's topic. I am, as always, taking in WhatsApp or text messages on the studio number 07779 481 822. So if you have anything that you'd like to share around today's topic, which is keeping it calm through the exams, and coping through the stress of exams as well. So I would love to hear from listeners, especially if there are any students that are tuned in this morning, how you are coping through the exams, and what you do to try and get yourself through them sanely. And parents as well, we are the backbone of our children's success. So, I would love again to hear from you guys this morning as well, what you try and do to facilitate and aid your child's success through the exam period as well. So yes, as I said, GCSEs and A levels are kicking off across the nation, and it's a peak time for stress now. So it's not only a peak time of stress for the students that are going to be sitting the exams, but also for parents and the family setup, because the dynamics have changed now. If you've got more than one child that's sitting exams, the pressure on how they've got to perform, the contribution that they can make towards house chores and helping you has got to be limited, because you would like to prioritize them using that time to study and relax. So yeah, a lot of family dynamic change there. So today I will be focusing on keeping that harmony in the home through this tense time. And next week, inshallah, I have a guest coming on that will be discussing revision techniques for all the students out there, how to revise, and what techniques there are available, and resources that are available as well. Listeners, you do have to bear with me. I do have a very dry throat this morning, and so I will be sipping away at my water every now and then just to keep my throat hydrated. And so do bear with my croaky voice. It's not my usual voice. So to start with, I wanted to break down some of the tips and suggestions that I have into subheadings, and then I was going to go into a suggestion for each area. Now, again, listeners, if you have just tuned in, you are tuned into Mother's Planet, and I am talking about coping through the stress of exams, and I'm looking at techniques that we as parents can help facilitate to our children, and what the children themselves can do as well. I am taking in WhatsApp and text messages on the studio number 07779 481 822. Now, there's quite a lot to get through, so bear with my croaky voice, and inshallah, I hope these points and tips are of use to you. Now, the first one that I wanted to mention is diet. Now, this often gets neglected very much during the exam period, but it's a very important factor, and it's really important that the right nutrients are consumed. Now, lots of students that are studying will sort of binge and have crisps and easy food that doesn't require cutlery, plates. You can just have a bag of crisps, a bar of chocolate, a can of a fizz pop. But actually, these are nutritionally have zero value to your brain and your body, and you're actually not doing any good for yourself in consuming those kind of foods in large quantities. Although it may be easy to eat, it's not actually going to be providing you any nutritional benefit. So find that healthy balance, and make sure you are also, like myself this morning, keeping hydrated. So you are drinking as much as possible, and that's plain water, because water is 70% of our body is made up of water. So we need to make sure that we are refilling that, because that's lost through every time we use the bathroom, every time you sweat, any movement, any energy that we are using in our body, we are losing water through that. So it's very important that we are trying to keep that water levels in our body. My suggestion is that you can get one of those plastic or glass refillable bottles, and the aim is to try and get through at least two in a day, 2 to 3 bottles a day. In heat like this, it would probably be good to try and get through 3, and it's not gulping it all down in one go. It's taking sips, so about a glass every half hour or 45 minutes or something like that, just to keep yourself refreshed. Don't drink too much caffeine. It's going to make you it'll make you less productive, as caffeine does provide energy, but it provides it in short bursts. So this type of energy is very short-lived and actually can eventually leave you feeling quite tired and could affect your sleep schedule, which is really important as well. And so, try, and actually on this note, I want to add that avoid any stimulant drinks. It's really easy to try and think, okay, actually I've got exams and I need to have a stimulant drink or an energy drink to keep me going. These are myths. Neither of the two will be doing anything. If anything, eventually these drinks can have a negative effect on your mind. And in reverse, it will slow down your energy levels and concentration. So it's wrong, because what you're doing is you're trying to fight your natural body instinct, which is telling you that you are tired, you need to take a break and you need to stop, and you're actually feeding it with stimulants or energy drinks and saying, I'm going to ignore you. So what's going to happen is you're going to actually at some point have that breakdown, and your energy levels and concentration will just break down as well. And so it will have a detrimental effect, and it will be even more difficult to try and get yourself back up into your norm routine again. So I would just say avoid any of these drinks during this time. Simple plain water, flavored water is absolutely fine to have during this time. There is no need for you to artificially stimulate your brain or your mind during this time. Don't skip meals. Now, this is one of the worst things you can do to your body, and it's very common in exam times. And I have to admit, I'm very guilty of this myself. I recall when I have my exams, the morning of the exams, I just couldn't stomach anything, and I would just skip my meals. But through the exam, my stomach would be rumbling. I'd have a terrible headache. I didn't feel very good. My energy levels weren't good, so I was not doing anything. I was doing no justice for myself. So, try and obviously, if you starve yourself, what you're doing is you're offsetting your sugar levels and then affecting your concentration and energy levels. So your body needs calories to function and focus. So you have to eat well and eat on time. So have something very small at breakfast. And that's the key one here. I've mentioned a nutritious breakfast, mixture of fruits or plain wheat breakfast with milk. Feed your brain. The best one that I can recommend, and this is one that parents can try and have made in advance for their parents, for their children, is dates. Pick the dates and stuff them with almonds. These are perfect. They are fibrous and they are high in protein. And eating this date will provide the body with enough sugar, and the almonds are high in protein and fiber, so you're actually getting the best of both there. So that will keep you fuller for longer and also help you function. So you can either pit the dates and stuff them with almonds, or the other one, which is a huge hit in my house, is I pit the dates and I pop the dates into a blender and I chuck in a few walnuts in with it, and I just blitz it down, and then when you take it out the blender, it's in quite a dough-like texture, and I just make them into little small balls, and then I'll either roll it into sesame seeds or roll it into coconut, desiccated coconut, and I'll just make little date balls, and I'll leave them in the fridge to set, and then I just keep them in the box in a fridge. So that's like their protein boost if they need something, just to, like, I need something very quickly and I don't have time to whip something up together. The walnuts, the dates, the sesame seeds, and or coconut is all nutritiously beneficial for them, and will be much more better than grabbing a chocolate bar or going to an exam empty stomach. So have those ready to hand. They're very quick to make and they are really, really lovely. And the good old Pakistani myth of eating soaked almonds is to help the brain. Actually, I have done some research around this, and there is some significance to this. So when your mum tells you to eat those almonds in the morning, guess what, students? You have to do that, because research has shown that almonds actually naturally contain the chemical that help the brain in cognitive function. So eating between 5 to 7 almonds a day every morning can actually help boost your brain power. So actually, almonds are actually really good for the brain. So having it stuffed in dates or having it totally on their own will help your brain power. So sometimes it can be hard to tear yourself away from the revision to try and eat a full-blown meal. And that's why it's really important that you set some time aside to either have a meal or that you are using a selection of good foods to graze on. Now, my recommendation around here would be things like dried fruits, having a boiled egg, yogurts. You can get Greek yogurt, which is high in protein. That mixed with fruits is a match made in heaven. You are getting the best amount of protein and fiber in that meal, and it's technically a meal as well. And you are giving and fueling your body with the right nutrition as well. So we've got the yogurts, you've got your nuts, cheese, blocks of cheese chopped up, left aside, grabbing one every now and then and having cheese. These are all protein-rich foods, and research has shown that these can help improve memory retention, mental alertness, and increase your energy levels. So, make sure you are eating those right foods and you are grazing on the right things. I mean, there's quite a few dried fruits. I mean, one of them obviously is the dates. But we've got dried apricots, which are really lovely as well. They're very sweet. So once you've had one, it's more than enough to keep you going. And yes, also eat meals that are high in fish oils like omega-3. A perfect example of this is salmon. Salmon is high in omega-3. It's very filling. It's really a good food to have. And salmon is one of those versatile fish that you can have with almost anything. You can have it flaked on toast. You can have it on its own. You can have it with salad on the side, and you can have it in a jacket potato. There's so many ways of eating salmon and getting that nutrition and those right fish oils as well. Omega-3 is definitely needed for the brain function. So salmon is one of those ones. And you can make salmon a hearty meal where you can make it into, a baked meal where you are having it with steamed vegetables and roasted potatoes, or you can keep it light, especially in the summer when it's hot, and you can just flake it over some couscous, over some wholemeal rice, over salad, and you can eat that. And knowing that you've had a bit of salmon, you've actually given your body the best form of omega-3 that you can provide it. And actually, we should be having fish at least 3 times a week. And when you think about it, I don't think many of us are actually consuming the right fish at least 3 times a week. So we need to just revise that, parents, just take a step back and, look at the menu and look at the food that we are providing our children through the week, especially during the exam period, and try to make these as nutritiously beneficial as possible. And, plan in advance, have a meal planner ready, parents. When I have the children at home and I had them studying for exams, I was going in every now and then and checking in on them and making sure that they were taking those breaks. But I would always go in bearing with the right amount of food on a tray and say to them, right, stop, let's have a chat while you eat, and you can eat this food and I'll have a quick chat with you and then I'll take it away. So I know I've seen them eat, they've taken that time out to eat. What I've given them is all of nutritionally beneficial, and I feel comfortable and I know that they've eaten well. And I know that once I've fed them and had that conversation with them, when I walk away, they sort of smile at me and give me the thumbs up like, Mom, thank you. So it's much appreciated. And I know that they do really like that as well. So in a nutshell, oh yes, If you can't curb the sugar cravings, don't deprive yourself. Dark chocolate and even milk chocolate is known to lift the mood. So a little chunk of a chocolate will not cause any harm. So, don't deprive yourself from chocolate, because chocolate is a mood lifter. And I would definitely always say keep a little chunk aside. I would recommend dark chocolate only because of the health benefits associated with that. When I became very anemic, I was told that dark chocolate's actually really rich in iron. So again, for anyone that's low on iron, or needing their iron levels boosted, dark chocolate's the way forward. So yes, all obviously eaten in portion and moderation. So yes, providing healthy, easy options for snacks, and keeping a balance, and letting your child enjoy a treat every now and then. The next one I wanted to talk about is exercise. Now, whenever the word exercise is mentioned, people often think it requires a long break and a trip to the gym and a huge, hot and sweaty workout. Actually, it's not. It's nothing of the sort. You just need to take some simple stretches to help loosen those tensed muscles, and this will actually help you relax. So it's really important that you take the time out to take a break from the books, the screen, and do these simple stretches to unlock those tensed muscles. Now, remembering that it's important to exercise regularly as well, because what happens often is when people are in the exam mode, they totally switch off from exercise, and this can make you feel really sluggish, and in fact have quite a negative effect on your energy levels. So remember, exercise, there's huge amounts of benefits to it. It's a way of relieving your stress and anxiety. I have a boxing stand outside my garden, and every now and then I would say, let's just come release that tension, give a few rounds on the punch bag, and get rid of that tension, that frustration, and it would help relieve that anxiety and stress as well. So exercise increases the body's production of serotonin and dopamine, which is known as the feel good brain chemicals, which create a happier and healthier mood. So, once you've got yourself into that routine of doing some form of exercise, and for myself, I really enjoy skipping. I actually really like doing some of the stretches and some cardio workouts as well. And I do feel good after it. I do feel, that I'm in a healthier position, and I know that I'm doing good for my body. So it's really important that we try and do that. Exercise also improves memory retention because of the release of the endorphins, which is a natural mood elevator. It's actually been shown that it's good to improve memory and boost your brain building hormones. So next time you're stuck on a question, go for a walk or do some skipping to boost your energy levels, and then go back to that question and see if it's actually helped. Exercise can also help oxygenate, which is really important, the brain, and release those tensions, helping you keep calm, mentally relaxed, and study more efficiently. So it's, as I said, when you are exercising, you are giving your body all the right levels of oxygen and that boost, and you're pumping the blood around your body. So you're letting all the blood go to all aspects of your body and all of your limbs and organs, and you're not just sitting there stationary and trying to focus. So it's really good that when you have that slum down moment of when you're revising and you look at your work and you think, I'm not sure where this is going, I'm not sure where, and you're whacking your brain around trying to get these questions answered, just take a pause and just go to the side, do a couple of stretches, a couple of push-ups, something light and easy. There's several ways of doing a push-up. You don't have to be the hardcore gymnast and do this push-ups that way. You can do simple push-ups, anything just to get yourself slightly out of breath and your blood levels and BP slightly elevated, to get that blood pumping around your body and just to sort of warm you up a bit. It's really easy that when you're studying, I remember with my daughter when she was studying, I'd used to go and see her and I'd touch her hands and her hands would be like freezing cold, and I'd be like, what are you doing? Your hands are so cold. And she said, I actually feel a bit cold, and it'd be fairly warm outside. So I would be concerned that she had cold hands. So I'd say to her, right, stop, come on, let's just do a few stretches. She didn't like me for it, but I don't think she regretted me taking that time to do that with her. So exercise also helps you get optimal sleep. So you can help yourself drift off to a better sleep if you stay active throughout the day as well. So parents, we can support our children by regularly taking them out on a walk. And this could even be just for some fresh air in the garden, do a few laps around the garden, walk around the block. Just encourage them to take those breaks and do stretches. As I mentioned, my daughter having cold hands was a concern, so I got her up and tried to get her blood pumping so that she could get a bit warm and focus on her studies. Now, listeners, we are now going to head over for a short commercial break. I hope you are finding the tips useful so far. Please do share any as parents or as students with me. But for now, go refill your hot brews or cold brew, whatever you're having with me this morning, and join me after a break. Assalamu alaikum.
This program will continue after the break. Continue listening to Inspire FM. Inspire FM. Inspire 105.1 FM.
Preparing for exam season with Inspire FM. Cover a vision booklet. You need to do mainly to focus on and make sure you understand everything. For more exam tips, stay tuned to Inspire 105.1 FM.
The airport's growth could be huge for Luton. With more than £1 billion in economic growth and up to 11,000 more jobs, it could change the face of the town for the better.
Luton is one of the poorest towns in the UK. We need all the help we can get.
It's really exciting. It'll put us on the map.
This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity, so let's not miss out.
Add your voice to the thousands supporting the expansion of London Luton Airport. Visit growourairport.org. That's growourairport.org.
Why do Tops Pizza deliver the top pizzas in Luton and Dunstable?
For a start, all the toppings are 100% halal and Tops use fresh dough every day. Then there's the cheese, the highest quality available. And when it comes to food preparation, cleanliness is taken as part of our faith. So that just leaves the taste, choice and great offers, including buy one, get one free on all medium, large and extra large pizzas. Tops Pizzas, Wellington Street, LU1 5AA. Order online, topspizza.com or via Just Eat. Download our app or call 01582 72 5000.
For expert legal advice and support, talk with Luton's leading solicitors, Hannah Solicitors. We specialise in conveyancing, wills and probate, family law, immigration and personal injury, legal matters that matter to you. Our experienced legal team are here to help you through every step of the way. Call 01582 329 069. That's 01582 329 069 or click on hannahsolicitors.co.uk. Hannah Solicitors, professional advice with a tailored approach.
Hello, I'm Lisa from Lisa Jane Millinery, based in Stevenage. My message for the day, or for life, would be to be kind. If we were all a little kinder, there would be no hatred. And being an artist, I dream of utopia, a world where there is peace on earth. Please keep listening to Inspire 105.1 FM.
Biscott Pharmacy, your one-stop health and beauty pharmacy in Luton, stockist of over 8,000 health and beauty products. At Biscott Pharmacy, we offer a range of services, including health advice and repeat prescriptions for collection and delivery to your home. We also offer a Hajj and Umrah vaccination. Come in and see us and ask about our Stop Smoking service. We're open 7 days a week till late, including bank holidays. Biscott Pharmacy, 157A Biscott Road, Luton. Call 457709.
The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "There is for every messenger a prayer, and I intend, if Allah so willed, that I would reserve my prayer for the intercession of my ummah on the day of resurrection." Sahih Muslim.
Juggling too much, trying to keep it all together without losing your mind? You deserve some me time. Join me, Neelum, on Mother's Planet every Friday at 10 o'clock on air at 105.1 FM or via our Inspire FM Facebook page. I'll be sharing tips and discussions with my guests on topics from kids, what to cook, health, well-being, and lots more for all you special mums. That's Mother's Planet every Friday from 10 a.m. only at Inspire FM 105.1 FM.
From the studios of Inspire FM, the time is now 10:30.
Good morning and assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Mother's Planet. I'm your host Neelum. It's Friday 10th of May and the time has now just gone 10:30. Now this morning I have been discussing how to keep calm during the exams and sharing tips from my own experience from the perspective of a mum and as a student, because I once was a student, believe it or not, but also having studied later on in my life as well. There were some aspects of here that I felt were quite detrimental to share. So far I have talked about exercise and nutrition, diet, and the importance of those during the exams, because especially diet, it's one of those things that really gets neglected in the exam period. So it's really important that we try to make sure we are eating the right foods to keep our brain power going. And almonds was one of them. Research has shown that almonds actually has the chemical that is really good, that's needed for our cognitive brain functioning. So when our mums tell us to eat soaked almonds in the morning, actually they are right. They are going to be of benefit. So do so and eat those. So I have shared those tips, and my next tip is around sleep. Now, this is probably one of the most neglected during the exams. Students often feel that sleep is affecting crucial time for study, so they will just not have sleep because they think, I would rather stay up and study late and have a couple of hours sleep and try and cram in as much as possible. But research has shown that students who sleep better enjoy better grades and recall facts better and have a better mood and better health. So in all, sleep is actually hugely beneficial and much needed. So again, in the earlier part when I was talking about nutrition and avoiding those energy drinks and stimulant drinks, this is coming back to sleep and listening to your body and taking that time out. Now, I was listening to some research around how to power nap. This is something that is actually carried out by the Chinese in China. They are regularly throughout, and that's why one of their businesses are really successful, because they encourage their employers to actually have a power nap during the day to refocus and re-energize their mind and be successful at their work. And the way to do this is, so you sit upright on a chair and you lay your head back, eyes closed, and you have something in your hand. Now, Winston Churchill also used to do this, where he used to have a pound coin in his hand. So he would hold the pound coin so that it was in the diameter form, so that you was holding the circular part from the top and the bottom. So the thumb and the index finger was holding the pound coin, or you can actually hold a metal spoon. Pinch the metal spoon in your hand and lay back on the chair and close your eyes and go into a power nap. So as soon as you sleep, you will find that your hand begins to relax. So when that pound coin slips out of your hand or the spoon drops out of your hand, you will wake up, and that's your power nap done. So you've had your power nap, and that's what they do, because it actually takes a bit of time. You'd think, gosh, I'm going to fall asleep in seconds and that spoon's going to fall out in seconds, but actually it does take a bit of time for you to actually focus and really relax and get into that mode of, I'm actually about to fall asleep. The idea is, with the spoon falling out of your hand or the pound coin falling out of your hand, is indicating that you are now going to drift into what they call a deep sleep, which is then taking you away from the concept of having a power nap. So when that pound coin drops or the spoon drops onto the ground and you hear it, it will wake you up, and you will know that you are not going to go into that deep sleep, but you've had enough of a power nap to keep your brain going. I guess with consistency, if this is something that's done regularly, your body will adjust, and it's something that maybe will become second nature, but it is something that is recommended. Now, researchers also found that a good 6 to 8 hours of sleep a night during the exam periods, those children actually who slept that between that time frame actually performed better, and in some cases actually outperformed what they thought they were capable of. So how can we make the most of our sleep? So, we need to try and work out a way of how to make sleep something that we can do without that guilt of, I should be studying, I should be cramming in work, and I should be doing things. Now, listeners, I forgot to mention that we are live on air. So if you have any questions, or if you have anything that you'd like to share around today's topic, please do so on the studio number 07779 481 822. I am taking WhatsApp and text messages on the studio number, and anything that you have that you can share with those students that are embracing their GCSEs and A-level exams, please do share that with us. And sleep, how can we make the most of our sleep? So make time for sleep. So schedule time for sleep. So when you have, especially when you have to get up at certain times now, some people, if you have an exam and you need to get up for this exam, you would schedule in sleep. So what you need to do is, so for example, if you need to get up, count back the number of hours you want to sleep. Now, minimum hours is 6 hours, and then add half an hour. Now, this extra half an hour is important because it will factor in all the things that you need to do before you actually get into bed. And this could be things like washing your face, brushing your teeth, getting changed, making your bed, all those things that you need to do before you actually get into sleep. So always, whenever you are planning to go to bed, so say to yourself, I want to be in bed by 9 o'clock or 9:30, you really need to say, right, I need to be in bed by 9. So you've given yourself that half an hour window frame to actually get yourself organized. Watch what you eat, because eating late meals can have, because when you eat late meals, it will have an effect on your internal clock, and it will impair your sleep. So avoid heavy meals, especially at least 2 hours before you go to bed. Having a heavy meal, it will require a lot of time to digest it. So try not to eat sluggish meals before you go to bed. Research has shown that actually saving your carbs from the morning, like when you have your breakfast, instead of having a carb meal then and having a carb meal in the evening, help sleep, because carbs give you that sluggish feeling, give you that tiredness. So it encourages not to go mad and have lots of carbs at night, but try and have your carbs mostly at night, so that you can have that really good, powerful sleep and actually have a productive sleep as well. So having smaller snacks before bed, because sometimes you'll eat really early at 6 o'clock and you're not going to bed until 10. So you've had like 4 hours of not having anything, and sometimes you want to graze or you want to have something. Have a small snack before bed. Maybe have a piece of toast. Have a hot cup of milk and honey. Is my go-to with my children when they really struggle with sleep. I always make a warm cup of milk, and I put some honey in there, and that really promotes good sleep. It relaxes them, and they feel much more refreshed for it. So parents out there, if you really want to help your child have a really good night's sleep, honey, a bit of warm milk and honey mixed into it is the perfect aid there. Limit caffeinated drinks. I've mentioned this before because the impact of caffeine varies from person to person. Some people find that it makes them sluggish, while other people find it has stimulating properties and actually can make them a bit too energetic. So it's trying to find that balance and not having it, especially nearer the night, because it can have a knock-on effect to your mind and, most importantly, sleep. Make your bedroom a place of rest. Now, I know many students, and my children are guilty of this, when it comes to the exam periods, their walls are not able to be seen because it's just plastered with notes and reminders for things for the exam, which is perfectly fine. But you need to try and create that harmonious space in your bedroom so that you can just literally walk in and go to sleep. So this could be some aromas in the room. Lavender is meant to be really good. It's very good to help promote sleep and relaxation as well. Dim lights to help relax your mind and promote good sleep. And avoid the temptation of looking through last minute revision things before you go to sleep, because it will only just play on your mind while you are sleeping. So you won't have optimal sleep. You'll have sleep where you're still revising. So you need to just switch off and have that. And that's going back to my first point where I said about giving yourself that extra half hour before bed, before the fixed time that you actually want to go to sleep, because these kind of things will allow you to help you switch off and do those things. Now, don't use your smartphones in bed, any electrical devices, because devices emit noise and light, both which will affect your sleep. The LCD screens on smartphones and tablets emit light that is blue enriched. So this light influences the body's internal clock and delays the release of the hormone, sleep hormone, melatonin. Now, without melatonin, the optimal sleep will not be achieved, and therefore not allowing you to feel refreshed and like you've had a well-rested night. So, avoid looking at screens at nighttime, especially before you go to sleep, because it's just not going to give you that productive sleep. Have a fixed bedtime routine. Now, this could be, right, I'm going to give myself that half hour that I mentioned. I'm going to stop studying and I'm going to do some simple stretches, help yourself relax, improve your mood. As I said, lavender oil is really good and known for its relaxation. And this can actually be found in lots of oils. You can get an oil form where you can drop it into one of those candle incense burners, or you can actually get them in a form of a spray where you can spray it onto your pillows to help encourage a good night's rest. So create habits, and this could be, right, I'm going to get myself ready for bed, and this could be I'm going to wash my face, moisturize my face, brush my teeth, do some stretches, and for us to reconnect back with our faith as well as Muslims. We are going to be engaging in spiritual connection as well, and reciting some ayahs from the Quran, taking the tasbih, reading the tasbih, and doing something that's a bit different from your revision, and actually taking that time out where you are focusing on yourself, because this is really important. What happens is if you don't focus on yourself and allow yourself to have these relaxation techniques and moments, you will find that halfway through your exams, you're just going to have a breakdown and your health will deteriorate. You'll be struggling with coughs, colds, and you'll really be pushing yourself to just get through those exams. So it's really important that you take those steps now where you are having that time out in the evening, just to really relax yourself, refresh your mind, and focus on you, and then your exams. Because if you are giving yourself that time, you're only going to be better. You're only going to be lifting your own spirits and inshallah be better at your performing of the exam. One that I always mention in every show possible, in every shape or form, is journaling. Journaling, this could be something that's incorporated into your half hour before you go to bed, where you are just jotting down notes and offloading all the things that are weighing on your mind. And it, as I said, when you are journaling, there's no structure to it. There's no right or wrong way. But if you've just remembered something, or you need to make a note of, oh, I need to remind myself to do something tomorrow, but it's on your head and you don't know what to do with it, get that notebook and journal. Now, one thing that a lot of students that I know did do is they wrote a diary through their exams, and how they felt, and what they were feeling, what they ate. And again, it's an aspect of journaling. And a lot of them have gone back and looked at that and found that, wow, there is so much more that I could have done in terms of focusing on myself and improved that. So it's quite nice to go back and look at what you were feeling in that time and how you coped with it. And it's also a piece of history there for yourself. You went through that. The most important and significant exams that you're about to sit in your life, your GCSEs, which will determine where you are going to go further on in your life. This is how you felt. This was your journey. So it's a bit of history that you're creating there, and it's something that you can then share with your siblings, or as you get older with your own children. So if you have the time, make the time, jot down a few notes in the night just of how you felt through that day, how your revision went, how you can improve on it. And so you can continuously go back and check and say, right, I did this, I need to do this, I ate that, didn't feel good, going to eat this. So it's a self-reflection, it's an evaluation and an ongoing evaluation as well. So this strategy is really good for clearing the mind as well. So as parents, how can we help? We can help our children by supporting them in getting into a regular sleep schedule and allowing our children to sleep in a quiet environment. Now, it's important that the days they don't have their exams, that they don't oversleep, because that's the other thing that can have a knock-on effect. When they are sleeping late just to cram studies in or work really hard for that exam, the following day when there isn't an exam, they will oversleep. So it's really important that you make a timetable and you are consistent with the way you are waking up and sleeping, and regardless of it being an exam the next day, because sometimes what happens is students get into this mindset that I'm only going to get up at 6 o'clock if I know that I've got an exam. If I don't have an exam, I'm going to get up at 10 o'clock. So you've lost 4 hours. What are you doing with yourself? So be consistent. Say to yourself, I've got an exam which I've got to be at school for 8:30. So I'm going to get up at 6:30 or 7 o'clock every single day, regardless. And you can fix that. Alhamdulillah, with the summer and the sun coming out early, it's quite easy. 7 o'clock feels quite bright in the morning now. So it's quite nice to actually be up and doing things. And as I said, if you are up at 7 and you don't have an exam that day, you do have the chance to power nap and make up for that sleep during the day, or just rest during the day as well. So try and be consistent is what I would encourage there. Consistency with waking up and sleeping, because if you break that pattern, then what happens is you're all over the place and you're not actually getting that optimum sleep that your body requires. And that will then have a knock-on effect on your health. Now, the final point that I wanted to share was managing stress. Now, I guess this is the paramount aspect to managing, managing through our exam period. It's a difficult time for the students, and their mood and stress levels can impact the whole family. So if they have had a really bad exam, they've come back, they could be very emotional, they could be very angry. It can have a real knock-on effect to the children, to the family. And so it's really important that this level of stress is managed, and we are looking at going forward rather than, oh, you should have done, you could have done. We are in the present. We're going to do our best right now and work from it here. So stress is often inflicted. So especially for those children who need to manage expectations from parents. Now, I'm guilty of this. My daughter is the eldest in my house, so the stress was quite intense on her, because she knew she had to set the benchmark for the rest to follow. And so, yes, the stress was heightened, but I have taken that step back as a parent, and I know now that every child is different and every child will perform differently. My eldest was homeschooled, but my son, I never homeschooled him. I tried, it just wasn't for him. And so that just already shows that they're two different individuals. So how I manage my expectations from each of them, it should be different as well. And every child is individual, and every child will do here. So Don't overwhelm your child. Let them take things at their pace and enjoy their studying time. These are crucial exams. It's the only time in their life that they will ever have to sit 10 different subjects and revise for them. The next stage is A levels, and inshallah, that's only 3 focused subjects. So, let them enjoy this time and go through it with them. Have a chat with them, talk to them. So I think it's really important that we keep an open relationship with our children as well. So I have taken some notes around stress from the mind.org.uk. They've got fantastic tips and management for how to manage stress. They've also got some testimonials given by students of how they feel and what stress means to them and what stress does effect it has on them. And it's also some from the students themselves of what they did to manage their stress. So it's quite nice to read and see. So in a nutshell, there is no right or wrong definition for this, but ultimately it's when you're feeling worried or under pressure around exams. So the impact of this varies from person to person. And so pressure can be caused through a number of following reasons. And the following are feeling like you're not ready or prepared, worrying about how you'll perform in the exams, pressure from others, pressure from yourself, comparing yourself to others, which is one of the worst things you can do. Everyone walks their own journey in their own way, worrying about the future and trying to impress parents. So how can we help manage our stress during this exam period? Now, I've got 5 little points here. Make time for the things that you enjoy. This could be from coloring, drawing, to cooking, or simply just listening to your favorite music alone or with a friend. Keep talking about your feelings. This is where parents can step in and help children by encouraging open conversations and thoughts and feelings about what's going on. Be positive for your child. Even when it comes to them saying that they didn't perform so well in the exam or they've done really bad in the exam, remind them that they've given it their best shot, and that's what counts. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, you do your part and leave the rest in the hands of Allah. And so we study, we make full effort that we are studying and we are working hard, and the rest is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we must remind our children of this and reconnect them with their faith as well here as well. Try to find a balance. Be realistic about what you can manage. So don't try and cram in study time and then give yourself long breaks either. Keep things in perspective and remember the exams are not going to last forever. It's literally about 4 to 5 weeks, and it's not exams every day. They're quite sparingly over those 4 to 5 weeks, and then it's over. And so, it doesn't last forever, and just be realistic. And here I will really emphasize on the sleep, waking up and going to sleep and managing that and mastering that really, because I think if you've mastered your sleep, then you can perform at your best level there as well. Take care of your physical health, ensure good sleeping habits and restful moments. Eat well and exercise whenever you can. And this could be just simple stretches, going for a walk, a brisk walk. These will all contribute to a better focused you rather than a stressed version of you. And the last one is focus on yourself. So as I said, just before you go to sleep, having that time out to wash your face, brush your teeth, moisturize, relax, giving yourself that head massage, face massage, hand massage, really focusing on yourself. But most importantly, not comparing yourself to others, especially on how you perform exams. It's very difficult not to do that. When you come out of an exam, you go and ask your colleagues, how did you do? And you ask all your other friends, how did you do? And how did you answer that question? It's very hard not to compare and think, oh, I didn't answer it that way. Oh, I didn't say this. Things like English, these subjects are so broad, and a lot of them is based on personal understanding and personal answers. So when it comes to you thinking that you didn't write what your friend did, if it's a subject like English, it might not necessarily mean anything, because it will be marked down on what your perspective of, as long as you have explained why you are feeling the answer to your question should be this or is this, and you've explained your perspective, that's your perspective. No one's going to mark you down for that, or you're not going to be looking for the same answers there. So don't compare, and don't let yourself look at other people's answers and think, oh, what did they, I didn't do that, I didn't do that. That's the worst thing you can do. You have done the exam, and that's it. Alhamdulillah. Before you start your exams, my tip would be to always start with Bismillah, in remembrance of Allah, asking Allah to give you the ability and strength to recall your knowledge and sit those exams. And don't let your minds boggle over what ifs. You've done what you can, and that's it. So listeners, I'm now at the end of the show, and I hope that all my points and tips that I've shared have been of benefit to you all as students, as parents, inshallah. Parents, we can only pray for our children, and we can give them the positivity. And I think our role here is to just be positive around them and to encourage them. And so we must try and enforce this in our homes. Join me again next week, where I have the secondary school deputy head sharing revision techniques and how to study effectively. Jummah Mubarak and Assalamu alaikum to everyone.
بسم الله. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم الدعاء مخ الإبادة. The supplication